welcome to Wani. With us today, we have Mr. Joe Duplantier of Gojira. Good to have you here. It's been a long time since you visited the country, and obviously we waited for the Magma tour to happen in India. Unfortunately, it didn't. But anyhow, we are now looking at the next phase, which is Fortitude, making us wait for 5 years.
Well, it wasn't intentional. We keep it busy, you know. This is one of the things about us is that we realize we can't really write music while on the road. I mean, we can, but it's not going to be album material. It's going to be just, you know, little things here and there and soundtracks and stuff. I love to write music on the road, but it's never for a song because it's difficult to really get together properly. And also there's a matter of energy. You know, when we're on the road, we save ourselves for the stage because we want to get 100%. So the whole day we sort of, you know, trying to go through the day with minimum effort, you know, and minimum emotion possible. And then because we know there's this firework that's going to happen in the night. And it's extremely demanding. So turns out we have to do our tours for 3 years, and then we have to get in a room and make an album. But we can't do both at the same time. It just doesn't work for us. So that's why we make people work. Plus, this time there was I don't know if you heard about it, a little pandemic going on. So the album was actually ready a year ago, believe it or not. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I've been sitting on it.
I remember that somewhere it was supposed to read in 2020, but unfortunately because of COVID, you could not. So anyhow, nevertheless, we are here, and I've been fortunate enough to listen to the album for almost 3 weeks now. And I got to say that if we consider Magma as a new baby for Gojira stylistically, I think Fortitude has taken it to the next amazing level in terms of not only the creative sound, I also see it's the simplistic nature of songwriting, and most importantly, the positive outlook in the form of lyrics. What are your thoughts on this?
Well, I'm really, really happy to have this positive feedback from you. I'm extremely excited to release the album, and you know, we just jammed with the guys this week. We got together and jammed because we need to get our shit together. We haven't played together for more than a year, and we tried some of these songs and we jammed some of these songs for the very first time together. But because you know how it is when you write songs, sometimes there's just 2 members there or 3 members, or something happens and drums get recorded and then we change things, you know what I mean? Like to play the actual song with the lyrics and everything and the full dynamic, and after listening to it for a while and listen on and work on the mix and the mastering, then we have to reinvent these songs for live shows. Right. So we got together, we played a little, and I have to say it felt so good, so good. Mm-hmm. I have a great feeling about these songs live, man. And for me, it's a proof that the album is working and it's really relevant with what we are today. We feel absolutely super comfortable with these songs. It's really us now. I'm already happy. Before it's released, I'm like, yeah, success! No matter how many people are going to like it or how many albums are going to be sold, whatever that means.
Right. Yeah, the personal satisfaction is primarily for an artist. I agree with you. And when I got the album, the first thing that I did was try to understand what is the meaning of Fortitude. And that's when I saw this. It's more about, let's say, the strength of mind, let's say, enabling a person to encounter something which is, let's say, adversity with courage, or let's say, encounter danger or bear the pain. Basically, a positive approach and a message as an outlook is what I see as a theme of the album, is to the positivity that has been encompassed. And for you personally, because of Magma, which we know that it's due to the personal reasons that you and Mario had at that time. And now when I see it, I see it's like that phase to this phase has turned out to be you both being more, let's say there's more strength, there's more positive outcome from the Magma phase to the Fortitude phase. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. We have many seeds to plant.
Yeah.
Many things to achieve. When I say we, I mean humans, you know?
Yeah.
When I look at the world today, I see all the things that could be better and all the things that go wrong. And it's easy to despair, you know, it's easy to despair and see only to be blinded by the gray cloud of ignorance and injustice that is veiling our vision. And it's easy to give in. I think an extra push of motivation to people in their lives, for all our dear friends, metalheads that have a big heart and they want to wake up in the morning and be kicked in the butt, you know, in a good way.
Yeah.
And that's what we're trying to do here. And fortitude is courage in adversity. It's strength. It's not giving up, you know, and overcoming whatever you have to overcome to make it right, whatever it is that you need to make right. We all need that power. We all need that inspiration. And we are inspired by people. We are inspired by music, by writers, by actors, by you name it, whatever, by parents, by children. They inspire us and they give us strength. And we want to redistribute this strength and amplify it and season it, you know, and serve it to our extended family.
Community. That's true. And you time traveled. That's how it looks like to me, because Another World is one such example where you predicted that it's going to be mess. 2020 is going to be mess. Because you wrote the song before the COVID era. Yes. And the reason why I give Another World as an example is there is a phrase that says, hope for the world, but prepare for the worst. I would rather find a way on my own. Another world, another place to be, other world, and new place for me. So we're looking at 2019 era of you writing the song, you writing the lyrics, and we come to 2020 and we somehow see this happen. It's a new world for us. So you sort of predicted it. That's why I say you time traveled 1 year or 2 years ahead. And here we are. So it's downright prophetic in a way that I see it, which is quite surprising to me that we would have given you a totally, let's say, realistic outlook on the music you have written a year ago before the COVID started.
Yeah. The one detail that is, rather surprising or anywhere close to predicting the future is the line in the video. There's a line, on the newspaper that says the virus is spreading.
Yeah.
That was written before the coronavirus, which is
great.
It's interesting, right? But everything else, Another World, we're just destroying everything. I always say the same thing. We're destroying everything, and it's not new. We don't need a virus to make that statement. So it only amplified. It only amplified the feeling and the context. So, of course, when we're working on the video, we thought, oh, my God, this is so on point with what's happening. But even if it wasn't, people would have understood what I'm talking about.
Right. I want to talk about the sound.
We're emptying the oceans. We're burning the Amazon forest. We're torturing and slaughtering animals. What's up with that? What's up with that?
Right. So we already were
It's not about the virus. It's not about the virus. It resonates very well in the virus context, but it wasn't that.
Agreed.
I wouldn't want people to get their eyes off the ball, because the problem is not the virus. The problem is everything else.
Right.
The problem is burning the Amazon and emptying the oceans and committing genocides after genocides on all indigenous people of this planet. We need to grow the fuck up. You know what I mean?
Well, I agree with you 100%. You brought this point very interesting, because when I look at the sound, at the evolution of the band, I see that it's a continuity from Magma in terms of evolution of the sound, refining it, keeping it simple here and there. And what I'm trying to say is it's common for bands these days in modern metal to just, play astonishingly amazing technical stuff, but with no sense of restraint. Is my personal opinion. So when I look at the direction that band is taking, Was it like the Magma did really well and resonated with all the fans, and you got a new bunch of fans as well when that album came out? It's an evolution for the band. So from this perspective of a sound, what was the mindset you and Mario and let's say the other members were in when you were writing the album?
Oh, I don't know. We don't dissect that much our plans or what we're trying to do. We're just basically trying to be ourselves and relaxed and just play the tunes that are going to make our booty shake. We just try to find a groove of the moment. What is our new trend? What is our new thing right now? We always focus on building something powerful, always focus on building something epic and meaningful to us. So these are the guidelines. We don't have too much stress writing songs or trying to outdo what we did before. A lot of people were asking me, how are you going to come up with something after Magma? Magma was this shit. I'm like, Magma? What are you talking? What's Magma? I don't know what you're talking about. I'm just making music here, So we don't have too much pressure or expectations, or we're not trying to competing with our past self. We're just trying to be our best present self, at all time. And it's a bit of inspiration, it's a bit of vision, happening. We're trying to let happen a feeling or a vision that we have. I imagine this weird autumn storm with a gigantic rock falling off the sky, and it's like shattered the earth into, yes, this is our riff. Sometimes we have inspiration like that through a dream or through a vision or a dreamy vision. And we try not to disturb that too much. We try to be in touch with this very subtle and exciting thing, vision we have sometimes, but it stops there. It remains very poetic and sort of blurry, and then we get together and let the magic happen, but it's quite simple, really, when you think about it. We just get together and jam and see what happens.
That's nice to hear. And I also felt that from the songwriting perspective, this album has this equal balance of heaviness in terms of instrumentation and that subtle, simplistic nature of songs with grooves and the vocals taking the main stage, if I have to put it so. I found the song placement quite interesting. With you have the heavy and faster songs followed by a slow one. Just to give you an example, you have this Fortitude, which is like probably the most mellowest song I've heard coming from you, which is with not much instruments. And then you go into the next track, which is the continuity of that, the same sound, but it evolves further. And then another example, if I have to give, you have the last two tracks where there is also a continuity from a soft, subtle, simplistic approach to a heavy approach. So there's a breather in the middle, not in terms of filler, but meaningful songs, meaningful data that you're presenting to the users. So to me, it felt like the placement was a lot of effort. That, okay, this song has to be right here. How much time did you spend on that? Because it's very crucial from an artistic point of view to not just it felt misplaced. It should rather be in an order that you feel that, okay, this would resonate well. If I'm a listener starting from song 1 to song 10, I would go in that incremental sequence.
Yes, it's very important how we place the songs, because we are in the album making business. This is what we do. We don't make songs, we make albums. And often I get confused. I don't even know how to call the songs. Is the track? Check out this track. Check out this song. No, wait, it's not quite a song. It's more like of a journey. It's an experiment. It's an audio. It's an audio thing, or it's like it's sound. I don't know. Is it a song? Is it not a song? Sometimes it's a song because there's a chorus. Sometimes it's not a song. But I know one thing for sure is that we're making albums, and we're obsessed with album making. So every step of the way is a preparation for this album. Let's say we're writing a song and the intro is incredible and you know, sort of feels like the beginning of something. Okay, this is a great opener. Boom. Okay, this song is a potential opener. But then, you know, 2 weeks later, there's another song that comes up and the intro is even more opening-y. So we change our mind, but then sometimes we switch intros, or we're trying a lot of stuff, keeping in mind the album. Yeah. We're not after a hit. We're not after a big single, radio single. Not after that. For us, we're not interested in that. Even though some of the songs have that potential and it's exciting too, and sometimes we will even push it a little more towards that, but our main obsession is albums. And we're nostalgic of the 90s, I believe, you know, or the good old days where, you know, people were making albums and then people would buy albums and listen to the whole album, you know what I mean? Like this thing.
Experience of listening to an album, physically probably, you know, which is something that's quite missing now, considering everything is streaming now.
Yeah, you know, the other day my fucking Spotify account got locked and I'm trying to listen to an album and it forces me to go to another song from another artist. I'm like, no, I want to hear the next song on the album. It was impossible to get my settings. I had to Google it. And do research and reset my whole thing. There's a bug. I didn't have access to the album experience, and it's I was mad, you know. I don't want to lose that, you know, the whole album experience. So this is what we're doing. So when you describe all these little things, you know, how this song brings you to another song and another song, and you know, we released Another World, and I was a bit. I don't want to release that song by itself. It should be surrounded by these two songs because it explains it. And people might think that we got boring because it's just the whole time, but that's because the song before resonates very well with that and so on.
Exactly. You know, you mentioned about the Amazon, and you have a song called Amazonia, which is more about, you know, the chaotic thing that happened with burnings and there are a lot of acres of land were destroyed, and we have a song on that and have these I don't know whether these are the bagpipes or the flutes that I hear, but it's definitely a tribal instrument that probably you have played which resonates with the theme or the concept of the song, and eventually the lyrics also are touching upon the pain and the agony behind that. And this, when I correlate with the other songs on this, especially, you know, you have Mario playing more simplistic, even in Magma, and now even here, and bass also being quite prominent in the songs. So when I look at it, I see that you have a trademark Gojira songwriting approach, and then you have these. Diversify, like open up your wings, spread your wings, and try different sounds. It kind of reminded me of like how Max Cavalera did with Soulfly when he moved from the Sepultura era to this. So it's an evolution for a band. And you writing about Amazon, you're writing about other things, the upliftment and the pain and the agony behind this. It all connects together when you listen to the instrumentation part. From the beginning till the end, from the simplistic nature to the more explosive nature of Gojira.
Yes. Yeah. It's a little bit of all that. There's different angles, there's different realities, dimensions, and it's exciting to put them together and arrange them together. The Amazonia was written, about 2 years ago. I can't remember when exactly, but about 2 years ago when the Amazon was in flames, you know. Yeah. And Mario and I got together to work that day, and we were so freaking depressed, you know, to see the Amazon. It made me want to cry, you know, generally. And since I'm a kid, I'm in love with the forest. We grew up in the forest, very green area surrounded by trees, and I would pretend, you know, being a Native American with my bows and arrows and fighting invisible enemies, trying to bring down the trees, you know. So the child in me is absolutely horrified to see the Amazon disappearing. I don't want to live on a planet without the Amazon forest. And if things continue at this current pace, in 10 or 15 years, there will be no more Amazon forest.
I mean, it's the oxygen of Earth. That's what Amazon is
Part
telling
of it.
us.
It's part of it. There's many reasons why we shouldn't cut down the trees. Oxygen is one of them. The management of carbon and all that stuff.
Yeah, the carbon emissions. Yeah,
Also,
yeah.
10% of all species, all animal species, and plants. I read that. I don't know if it's true, but it sounds right. 10% of all animals and plants are in the Amazon forest, and it's getting destroyed right now. I'm in touch currently with some Amazonian tribes, indigenous people of the Amazon, to collaborate on a program to preserve what's still standing on some areas of the Amazon forest. And when we're going to release Amazonia, the song Amazonia is going to be released by itself as a single, and we're going to do a whole thing around it. So you're going to hear about it. I decorated personally some of my signature guitars. I'm going to put them for auction. This one of them, I took one for the interview so I could show and talk about it a little bit. But it's
butterfly.
It's wood burning technique decoration. These are my Fortitude DiMarzio pickups that are really good. And this is PAF 36. It's like quality shit. This is my import model, but it goes away for like $1,000 on the online. It's quite cheap for the quality that this guitar has. And I bought 10 of them, and I'm working on it to try to come up with an auction.
That's awesome, man. Good to hear.
To help and empower some of these communities in the Amazon, because they are the keepers of the forest. If they die, the forest dies. Because they are. If everybody on Earth would die, the forest would thrive and be fine. But if only the indigenous people die, nobody's there to protect it anymore, and it's going to go to hell.
Agreed, totally agreed.
And it went worse. It went worse in 2005. There was so many efforts, international efforts, and consciousness around the forest that is sort of slowed down. The deforestation slowed down around 2005, right? And then for 10, 12 years, there was a period of time where nobody was talking about it anymore because the deforestation sort of slowed down. It was still going on, but
happening, but it slowed down. Yeah.
And recently, this person, Bolsonaro, came to power in Brazil and started the deforestation all over again times 10. Now it's a freaking disaster. The minute he came to power, the whole forest was on fire because all the farmers, they feel inspired by Bolsonaro and encouraged by Bolsonaro. He's telling them to burn down the trees and to kick out the indigenous, because there's a lot of money to be made mainly for meat industry.
There's also the problem that happened in Australia with forest fires. Was it because of climate change, or there was a chaotic time even in Australia last year before the COVID time? So it sort of resonates really well. So Joe, for you, from vocal perspective, I want to highlight this because I felt this is one of the strongest, the most important part for me as a musician is the vocals, which you have songs like Fortitude, you have The Chant, you have Newfound, and most importantly, The Trials, which I found is the most vocally driven song on the album. The chants that you have added on the album are songs that I mentioned. They're like on an epic, on a grandiose scale to me. So you've been exploring this clean vocal side of yours since Magma, and here I feel it resonates more. The album continues in the same direction, and you have more of these chants, which is in parts, in bits and pieces on almost each song. So vocally, it must have been a very, I would say, inspiring and a very nice place to be in to express this with your amazing lyrics already existing on the album.
I don't know what to add to what you just said, but it sounds good. I love singing. I love exploring weird, emotions and things that there's some things that make me go on with life and keep me going. But I don't know what they are exactly. I'm trying to understand these forces and try to put them under the microscope and turn them into singing, you know. Sometimes I feel something in my soul or my being or my heart. I don't know how to put it, or maybe it's just my imagination. You know, I feel something in my imagination that is so bright and beautiful. Just want to sing it. You know, I just want to sing something that I feel, and if just 1% of that can be translated into singing, it's the nicest, the most amazing feeling on the planet. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if you play an instrument or if you sing or if you. So I
play drums.
You play drums?
Yeah.
You know, so when you work your drums and you find that perfect combination that makes you feel a certain way, it's so precious, so beautiful.
Right.
And what's beautiful is that as a musician, when you find something that makes you feel good, chances are it's going to make other people feel good too, because we're all the same. We're all made of the same material.
On the same level. Right.
So it's a great way to communicate and to express a pain that people will understand and recognize themselves, and increases compassion and increases happiness.
You know, The Trials is a song. I don't remember hearing that side of you for the complete time of the song. This is a 4-minute song or a 5-minute song. Trials is one example where there's no Gojira scream in it. There's a singing in it. And you have songs in the past where you mix them both together, or it's more of screaming and then you have some singing. But here you have a song which is from the beginning to the end, complete singing, beautifully expressed, with the words also. So must have been an exhilarating experience for you there. Wow, I mean, this is probably my first song from Gojira where I have just sang from without any screaming.
You're talking about the Trails?
Yeah, Trails, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I felt it when I heard the song. I was like, when was the last time I heard Joe singing completely for the 4.5 minutes duration? So I'm trying to recall. And I failed to remember the song, to be honest.
Yeah, it's true. I always end up screaming at some point, huh? Well, I guess, you know, I'm all grown up. Look at me. I'm all grown up now. I can do crazy things like singing a song without yelling my ass off. It's great, you know. I don't want to be trapped in that. Although, you know, when you become successful as a musician, you tend to, okay, what is it that's working? I need to keep that, you know, and I don't need to do anything else. I just give people what they want. So I could do that. I could be like, you know, I could do that forever, but I have other things to explore, and I like to challenge, you know. I like to challenge myself and the listeners too, in a way. But it's more like, it's more of an invitation. I think the people that follow Gojira for a long time are, probably my age, maybe a little younger, sometimes a little older, you know. But so I imagine they also go through transformations in their lives, and they question things, and their taste is more refined, and they understand themselves better. Some of them had an accident and they're on a wheelchair, and their whole life is upside down. Some of them have kids, and their whole life is upside down. Who knows what they're into now? Maybe they forgot about us completely, and they're going to hear that song and we're singing, and be like, holy shit, I like it again. I don't know, you know. Some people are going to be upset. Oh, look at this pussy singing without yelling. Whatever.
Agreed. You know, you, Mario, and the other members have always been, you know, together as a family. And when I listen to this, like Magma or now with Fortitude, I see that without actually sounding heavier because of the technical instrument, and have this way of writing the song where it sounds heavy and not in a most complexity form, but, you know, dark. The heaviness does come without sounding faster or making the whole pattern sound faster. And this album is that one example where I always feel, if you want to take an example of a dark album, a heavy album, and a mellow album, it has got all the combinations on this record altogether. So you have fans on stage looking forward to it. And you said you already tried out some of these songs and try to figure out how it appears on stage. What's the first song that comes to your mind that says, This is the stage opener, the first song on stage once we are up there after COVID. The first one, the first thing that came to your mind from this album.
Well, right now I'm very much into the song Amazonia, and because of the message and the endeavor that we're on, trying to raise some money to collaborate with these indigenous groups. So I feel something super strong when we jammed that song. We were jamming just 2 days ago. We were jamming that song, and I had to find an ending for the song that it sounded so powerful because of all the work we're doing now to connect with the indigenous people of the Amazon.
Yeah.
And I think that's the whole purpose of rock, is to question things, is to kick things in the face, and to promote civil disobedience. Martin Luther King was disobeying. He was not supposed to sit on this seat on the bus like Rosa Parks. He was not supposed to march the streets. He was supposed to stay whatever you're supposed to do, that's not what matters. What matters is to question things and to be present and to not be scared to look at things in the eyes.
Right.
And I think, the song Amazonia, it's all coming together because there is the spirit of what this music embodies. It's rebellion, it's philosophical, it's anarchist. And for that, I think metalheads are great citizens because they seem to care, and metalheads are conscious of the power of their money when they go and buy the album of a band, or when they rock the shirt and you got to check this band. They read the lyrics, they know the actual names of the people in the band and the name of the album, and they buy the vinyls. Somebody who's a Lady Gaga fan will just have to turn on the radio and hear it once in a while on the radio. Oh, I love that song. Ask them from what album is it. They can't tell. So right. in our community, in the metal and rock community, there's something that is absolutely amazing. And I'm going to start with a promotion around this album to promote civil disobedience,
Nice.
And start a riot. Start a riot. Put yourself in a trance. The lyrics of Amazonia. It means put yourself in a trance. Put yourself to that level where your actions are related to your thoughts. And if you think something should change in the world, change it in yourself right now. And eat less meat.
It all starts with yourself, right? Yeah. So that's how it goes.
I gotta hang up, bro, because I have another interview. I'm late.
Yeah. So it's always nice connecting with you. We got to see you live in India, and I look forward to have you back here sometime next year, or for sure, because your fan base here has increased. I don't know how many folds. I can't give you a number, but I can tell you for sure that the day you played here, there was Testament playing another area in Bangalore. So you remember that. So you had a division there. You had this thrash fans going there, and you had this modern metal fans going here. But now when you come, they would not only be the combination of these two, that has increased 5 times, 10 times over the last so many years.
Oh man, I can't tell you how excited I am to hear that. And you know what? It's going to be a tiny little connection with India very soon in something that we're about to release.
Nice. I'm so looking forward to it. As always, thanks for your time. Good luck with the release, man. Love the album, and looking forward to hear what other people are going to comment once you release Amazonia, because it's one of my favorite tracks from the album.
Well, it was really nice, really awesome questions, and beautiful presence too. Thank you so much for this interview.